Hello my friends, what's going on? I've got a really fun, easy, delicious recipe for you today. This is something I've just been making myself. I posted a little teaser of it on Instagram, but I figured I would share the magic with you today. So we are gonna make a version of my bacon, but this time out of yuba skins. If you don't know what yuba skins are, they're the byproduct of making soy milk. So when you make soy milk and you heat it, there forms a skin on the top, and it actually has a wonderful flavor, and they somehow take that layer of skin, tofu skin, off and package it into yuba skins. They have the texture of an al dente noodle. I used some yuba in a stir-fry spicy sesame noodle recipe in my Nothing But Nudes ebook, if you managed to get that when I was promoting the plant-based bundle. But before using it there, I was making bacon out of it because it's a nice thin texture, gets crispy and a little chewy just like bacon, and it's just such an interesting thing. This recipe may not be available to everybody because you can't get yuba skins, but if you can get yuba skins, it is delicious. In other words, you can just skip this video and make the bacon from Vegan Comfort Classics in any form you like using regular tofu. And then we're gonna take the yuba skin bacon, or the other bacon that you make, and make BLATs, bacon, lettuce, avocado, tomato sandwiches. Super easy, I love eating these all the time, and we'll whip together a really quick vegan garlic mayo for them. Just, you know, a little leveled up from regular mayonnaise. So anyway, the crux of this video is making the yuba bacon. So we're gonna get to that right now. I'll show you how it's done. First things first is make the marinade. Get like a wide, shallow dish like this that will fit all of your yuba skins. You'll pretty much find a package of yuba this size. It's 5 ounces. They may come in larger sheets than what I have, but you're just gonna tear them into pieces or strips anyways. So we're gonna add some vegetable oil in here. This bacon marinade just has a few extra ingredients than the one in Vegan Comfort Classics because, you know, over time I change my mind and add things to it. Also, I started changing my bacon marinade because of Timmy from Mississippi Vegan. So this is more or less his bacon marinade, I think. Because I think he adds nutritional yeast and garlic powder, which is what I'm adding. Why not? Make it more flavorful. So you've got 2 tablespoons of soy sauce or tamari, you've got a tablespoon of oil, you've got a tablespoon of, can't open this, maple syrup. Usually I don't even measure this, I just sort of do it in the dish myself, so you may get to that level where it doesn't really matter, because it doesn't really matter. As long as everything's balanced, you can also taste it. The liquid smoke, this is my favorite brand of liquid smoke, which I've only been able to get since I've been in Los Angeles. You might want to order it online because in Canada, the one that you can find is not as, I think, well-rounded as this. It tastes very artificial, I find. This one tastes more realistic and it's less chemically, I would say. And in fact, the amount you add is probably different based on the fact that the liquid smoke is different. So use your own discretion with your liquid smoke depending on the brand you can find. We're gonna add smoked paprika. I'm just gonna eyeball. We're gonna add nutritional yeast. And of course, we're gonna add some garlic powder. This is granulated garlic powder. You can use a more fine ground garlic powder. Doesn't matter. So get a whisk and mix it all up. And then just set this aside, and now I'll show you what the yuba looks like when you open the package. So preheat your oven to 375, have a couple of baking sheets out with Silpat silicone or parchment paper. And yeah, you might need 2 large sheets depending on how much yuba you get, but you should be working with the same amount as me, and I think it fits on 2 sheets if I remember correctly. So it kind of comes in what looks like a big old chunk, but it's actually very thin sheets, smashed, sort of compressed together. So just get it out of there. Now this is not gonna look like the most appetizing of substances. Okay, it kind of grosses me out and reminds me of like Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So So these are actually big sheets. So if you've seen, if you follow School Night Vegan, he uses yuba skin on his roast chicken, and he like takes a sheet and wraps it around as the chicken skin. I've had that at restaurants and it's really cool. I just haven't bothered to do that yet. But here's like a whole sheet, okay? I actually haven't successfully taken a sheet this large out of the package before, because usually it's all so stuck together that I can't do this. So, you know, I'm gonna start thinking of other ways to utilize this thing, but how funny is this? Weird vegan things. Okay, you can just use your hands now to tear this into, you know, we're not gonna make bacon strips this big, so just cut them like, you know, what a bacon strip would look like, sort of, doesn't matter. Don't have to be perfect, but they should all be generally the same size so that they bake kind of evenly. And if they don't, you can just take the smaller pieces out sooner. All you really need to do now is just stick these pieces in the marinade. Now you do get quite a lot in here, so if you don't want to make this much bacon, you don't have to. But I like to make it so that I just have it, you know, to make sandwiches. What you might have is like 2 layers stuck together, and that's okay too. That means you're just gonna get a chewier piece as opposed to a crispier piece. And so I feel like the variation is kind of nice to have. Just get it in the marinade. No need to be precious about this. I mean, isn't vegan cooking fun? There's just so many fun things you can do. Okay, so now with my hands, I just get messy and coat these guys up. You won't have any marinade lingering around in the bottom. It'll all get coated. This sound is pretty gross. Or amazing if you're me. I like this sound. And then you don't need to let it sit forever. You can let it sit for 10 minutes or so. You don't even really need to let it sit. It's up to you. Truthfully, I don't let it sit because I'm impatient. Hoo-hoo, look at that. Marinated skin. It's okay if it's sort of slightly overlapped. It's not really gonna matter. This stuff cooks so quickly. You don't wanna have like clumps. You do wanna spread out your strips. So yeah, but they can slightly overlap. It's not a big deal. It's kind of like all the bacon recipes, especially like coconut bacon, you're monitoring it so that it doesn't burn. I mean, with a lot of the bacons, you do just have to keep an eye on it, especially because your oven temperature is probably running hotter or cooler than mine, so it's a little bit different. You just never want to turn the oven on, throw something in, and walk away. You kind of want to keep your eye on it no matter what. So these can go in at the same time. Just do the 2 middle racks, space them apart. Looking good. And that means the oven's ready. So it's about 15 minutes in the oven with some flipping in the middle, okay? But that's a best guess. That's my oven. That may not be your oven. So like I said, watch it. Especially if your pieces are smaller than this, you're gonna remove those small pieces first as you start seeing them getting darker and if they're getting crispy. Now the thing is you don't wanna bake them till they're super crisp because they crisp up once they're out of the oven, kind of drying. So while we wait for the yuba bacon, we can make this garlic mayo or garlic kind of aioli for the sandwich. You don't have to do this. Also, it's one of these things where you can really just do it to taste. So I'm gonna make about a cup of it. So you wanna add about a cup of mayonnaise. I'm just using pre-made vegan mayonnaise here from a jar. And then you can add some lemon juice, about 1 to 2 tablespoons. Again, to your taste. And then some minced garlic. I'm doing about 3 cloves, again, to taste. You might not want all this raw garlic. You could use garlic powder. You could do half and half, garlic powder, fresh garlic. You could do roasted garlic. I have a roasted garlic aioli, of course, in Vegan Comfort Classics, but this is one where I'm just whipping this together quick because I want my sandwich now, so you don't need to do any cooking or roasting or whatever. 2 to 3 cloves. These were actually 2 very large cloves. And then just add, you know, pinch of salt and pepper. Now you still want it to be thick. You don't want to put too much liquid that it becomes too drizzly because you want to spread on the sandwich. This is also something you can just make ahead of time and it's sitting in your fridge. There we go, there's the bacon. So you'll see it looks a little drier. When you touch it, it may still be flimsy, but like I said, it will air dry, but you'll feel how the edges are crispy. It's also darker. Here's like a crispier piece already. But chewy and crispy is sort of what you're going for. Some may be chewier than others. Like this piece, because it's larger, will probably be more chewy with crispy edges. Now, if you watch Hot for Food, you know that I'm not really a big fan of rice paper bacon. I feel like this is the solution to that because it's meatier, has some more sustenance to it, I would say. Like the rice paper to me is just, I don't know, there's just nothing to it. This obviously is soy based, so it has more of a meatiness than rice paper bacon. This is enough for about 3 to 4 sandwiches, depends how much bacon you like to layer up there. So I have a little trick for you. Of course, when you wash your lettuce, you gotta make sure it's really dry. You don't wanna have a soggy sandwich, so you don't want wetness in there. With your tomatoes, tomatoes are always so wet, right? So just take a paper towel and get them out of their wetness. You know, wipe the cutting board so you're not putting nice toasted bread in a pile of tomato water. I usually do this too before you know, you put tomatoes on pizza because then it won't make it soggy also. This is just a way to make sure that your sandwich is perfect. Be very generous with your mayonnaise and of course both sides of the bread. I'm using a sprouted grain bread. Lettuce on the bottom. Tomato. I'm probably not gonna add more salt, but I'm gonna add more pepper. So sprinkle a little pepper on those tomatoes. Now, of course, you don't have to do avocado, but why not? I had some avocado. They don't look very good. They're a little pale. And they have those brown spots, which I don't like. Okay, so slice it thin so it doesn't topple your sandwich over. And then layer that on there. I just know one of these sandwiches is gonna look better than the other one. All right, now grab your yuba bacon and really layer it on there and do a mixture of the squishier and crispier pieces so you get the different textures. Pile it high because when you cut this open, you'll squish it and you want to be able to see what's inside. Are you ready for these final BLAT, yuba BLAT sandwiches? You want to do a little press, really squish it so that when you cut it, nothing falls out. Squish and just get it through as quickly as possible. Yeah, look at that. Oh, I gotta take a picture, but I wanna bite it so badly. Ah! Oh my gosh, y'all, that was the hardest photo to take because I was drooling the whole time and it's just like a finicky thing to shoot. So here we go. The first bite. Didn't take a bite yet. It's actually lunchtime for me. This is my new favorite bacon. I mean, I'll always love tofu and tempeh, but there's just something about the layers of this that I love. You know, sometimes it's just the simple things that are the best. So good. That's half the fun of a sandwich anyway. Is like picking up the debris off the plate. Okay. Actually, y'all, it's perfect for 4 sandwiches. I've obviously never made this many sandwiches at once, so I wasn't entirely sure. I was kind of testing the amount today. But yeah, 4 Sammys. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're not already. Also, the best way to know what's really going on with Hot for Food and any new developments or announcements, etc., especially with the new cookbook coming out soon, March 16th, Hot for Food all day. The best thing you could do is sign up for my email list, my newsletter. That's where all the inside info takes place. Often it doesn't make it here to YouTube. and because, you know, you're speaking to so many people here, you're not necessarily speaking to like the hardcore people. So if you're hardcore about me and about Hot for Food and the recipes and all the new developments, sign up in the link below for my mailing list and you'll be in the know all the time. All right, thanks so much for watching. I hope you're doing well, staying safe, and you know, coping. The best thing to do is cook, make some food. Oops. Yeah, that's how I do my therapy and my meditation, is cooking. So I'm glad I can share that with you here on this channel. Thank you so much. If you want to follow my other channel, Lauren in Real Life, just look up Lauren Toyota or Lauren in Real Life and follow along, because I do what I ate in a day vlogs there and other things that you won't see on this channel. Okay, also at Hot for Food on Instagram, and I'll see you guys soon, maybe next week. I don't know. I'm not planning anything, so I'll see you when I see you. Okay, love you. Bye.